Hola a todos. Hoy vamos a hablar de los usos de la palabra que en español. Today we are going to be talking about the uses of the word que in Spanish. To be specific, there are 6 uses, and I'm sure many of you are wondering, que? Yes, there are 6 uses of this word. And I'm sure you have come across que in these specific scenarios, but maybe you did not know how to categorize them. So today I'm going to give you some assistance with that, okay? You will notice that que, depending on the context, will have an accent, or maybe it may not have, or maybe it will not have an accent. But this is all going to be based on the context. So I think that most persons are already familiar with the first usage, which is going to be as an interrogative, right? A question word. So que as an interrogative means what or which. Now this is very important. It translates as what when we use it with verbs, right? Because we are trying to obtain specific information, right? ¿Qué es una cumbre? What is a summit? So in this case, this is the definition that we are seeking. Una cumbre es una reunión entre los líderes mundiales. A summit is a meeting among world leaders, okay? So we're asking for specific information. What? Now, when we have options, right? Que translates as which if it is used before a noun. For example, ¿a qué país quieres viajar? To which country do you want to travel? Or which country do you want to travel to? And of course, I have to put the a because viajar necessitates the addition of the preposition a to indicate direction, right, to, right. And you know that when you have a preposition, the preposition is usually placed at the start of the sentence, right? So, ¿a qué país? Many persons think that which is always going to be cuál, but no. And I'm actually going to include the video lesson that I did on, or that the video that I made, or that I recorded, trying to find the right expression, right, that I recorded on que and cuál. I'm going to include that in the description, okay? But yes, which suggests that there are options. Yes, we're trying to gather specific information, but which means that there are options, and there are many countries in the world, right? So that's the slight difference. There is a difference between what and which, but in terms of translation, this is the context. Que, when it's followed by a verb, is going to translate as what, and que, when it's used with a noun, is going to translate as which. Now, que can also be used for indirect questions. For example, no sé qué hacer. I do not know what to do. Now, obviously, this is not a question because it doesn't end in a question mark, but que has to be used as an interrogative there because it is an indirect question. I do not know what to do. It is essentially asking, ¿qué hago? What do I do? I do not know what to do. So, ¿qué hago? What do I do? Right? And this is where we get into lo que versus lo que. Because lo que also means what, but that is what in the context of providing, of what will replace like information, right? But que with the tilde on the end as an interrogative is asking a question. But I'll do a video, I'll make a video on the differences between K and low K in the future, right? But a simple distinction or a simple difference between the two is that K, if you can answer a question, what, then chances are you need K. But if you can replace K with that which, then you use low K. I can't say no say lo que hacer. No, that makes no sense. I do not know that which to do. No, I do not know what to do. And in that case, you're asking a question. So, ¿qué hacer? No sé qué hacer. One more example before we continue. Jorge quiere saber en qué país estás. Jorge wants to know which country you are in. And of course, because you use que before a noun, right, it translates as which. So once again, that is an indirect question. En qué país estás? Which country are you in? Or in which country are you? Right? So we can't say Jorge wants to know that which country you are in exactly. So that is a good test that you can administer to discover which K you need, right? So K can also be used for indirect questions, right? Yes, so that's the first usage. Let's move on to the second usage, right? Which is going to be for impersonal expressions or exclamations. K can be used with adjectives or nouns to express exclamations. It translates as how when used with adjectives and what when used with nouns. Right. So if we use K, and by the way, K is going to have the accent on the E. Que triste. How sad. If something happens and we want to use an exclamation, we can say que triste. How sad. If there's a house that is very beautiful, we could say que bonita. How beautiful. And of course, our adjective must agree with the noun in terms of gender and number, right? Muy bien. And we said that if que is followed by a noun, it translates as what. So, que sorpresa, what a surprise. Que vergüenza, what a shame, right? Que tormenta, what a storm, right? So we're just using this as an exclamation, right? So remember, if it is followed by an adjective, it translates as how. And if it's followed by a noun, it translates as what, right? Yes. Muy bien. El tercer uso, the third use. Que can be used in comparisons, right? It translates as than. So this is where we have two entities that we are comparing on some characteristic or quality or what have you, right? España es más grande que Barbados. Spain is bigger than Barbados. So you would see that the que is essentially used to introduce the second element in the comparison, because we're comparing Spain and Barbados in terms of size, and we're saying that Spain is bigger than Barbados. So the que, after the que in comparisons, we are going to introduce the second entity, which will be Barbados, right? Or Barbados. Yep. Más vale prevenir que curar, right? Prevention is better than cure. Once again, we have two entities. We have prevention and we have cure. And this is also an idiomatic expression. Prevention is better than cure. We hear this very often. Que curar. So curar would be the second entity in the comparison. So anytime we want to mention the second element in a comparison, we use que. We introduce it with the word que. And this que will not have an accent. That's right. Just to give one more example, ella es más alta que yo. She is taller than I am, right? That's right. Yeah. Cool. So we can continue. And of course, our adjective must agree with the noun. And the first noun, of course. So because I said ella, you know that is singular and feminine, so it must be alta. It wouldn't be alto, alta. Ella es más alta que yo. Yes, I could have said me, but I did not, because if we do not see than as a preposition, then we shouldn't really use me. We should say I am, right? But yeah, don't hurt your head too much about that. Right? This is Spanish. 4. Que can be used as a relative pronoun. It translates as that, which, who, or whom. Now, a relative pronoun is a word that connects two sentences, or it provides information about an entity that has already been mentioned. Okay? So these are the translations that que can have in this context. And once again, this que will carry no accents, right? All right. La casa que compramos era roja. The house that we bought was red. So we have la casa, which is the subject. Que compramos, that we bought. So the that introduces additional information. So everything that follows the that explains or provides further information about casa, which we already know, right? The house that we bought was red. But it is worth noting that in English, we can remove the that. It's not mandatory. We can say the house we bought was red. That's fine. But in Spanish, we must use the que. Yep. So that is just identifying the house and providing further information. Similarly here, we have pienso que la directora tiene razón. I think that the principal is right. The que there connects the sentence, I think, right? And then we use que to connect the other idea, the other sentence. Right. And over here, mi esposa que vive en Madrid es maestra. Once again, que can translate as who, because we're talking about a person. So who lives in Madrid is a teacher. Yes, so the que introduces additional information about mi esposa, my wife. And finally, el chico del que yo te hablaba era bombero. The boy whom I was talking to you about was a fireman. Okay, so this is where it can translate as whom when we have an object. Because I said I use hablar de, which is to talk about. So in that case, it will be whom. because it's the object, right? All right. So these are 4 uses of the word que. And let us proceed now to the final 2 uses. So we move on to the 5th usage, which is going to be with commands. Que provides more emphasis. So when we want to emphasize an instruction that we have given, we can place que before it. Now, we are going to have to use the subjunctive / imperative to accomplish this. Que te vayas, go away. As you would see in this context, when we have reflexive verbs, right, we need to put it in a negative form. Que te vayas. If we were to put that in the traditional affirmative form, it will be vete, go away, vete. But this is actually negative command for the 2. So we would say no te vayas, do not go away, do not leave, right? Oh no, not do not go away, do not leave, right? But if we are telling someone to leave and it's familiar, we say vete, right? So it just adds emphasis, especially if this is something, if this is an instruction that we are repeating, using the que just as emphasis, okay? So let's say you give someone an instruction and that person hasn't obeyed, using que just as emphasis, like, que te vayas, go away, right? Que ganen, win. Of course, this is talking to, this is going to be when you're talking to more than one person. Que ganen. And this is a common expression, an idiomatic one as well. Que gane el mejor, may the best man win. So this is usually said before competition, right? So we can use que when we want to emphasize commands. So this requires that you know the subjunctive / imperative. And speaking of subjunctive, the 6th usage is going to be dealing with the subjunctive. Que is used to trigger the use of the subjunctive. And I'm actually going to include the video that I recorded on the uses of the subjunctive, right? Because the que is going to trigger the use of the subjunctive, right? So que usually introduces another subject. It translates as that. Okay. So we know the subjunctive has many different uses. We can use it for doubt, the wishes, emotions, but you would realize that when it comes to the subjunctive, que is often used to trigger it, right? So, espero que haya mucha gente. I hope that there are many people. We use the que here because we are introducing another subject. We started with I, so now that we've changed the focus, we have to use que. And because espero expresses a desire, we have to use the subjunctive, right? Similarly, no creemos que Marcos sepa manejar. We do not believe that Marcos knows how to drive. We started with the subject we, and then we changed the subject to Marcos. So the que indicates that the focus has changed. And because no creemos deals with doubt, we use the subjunctive there. So anytime we are changing the subject and we're talking about wishes, desires, the all the uses of the subjunctive and we change the subject, then we need to use the subjunctive there. So this is why I said that the que triggers the use of the subjunctive. But like I said, I will include the video lesson in the description because this is a bit more complex than the other uses, okay? Bueno, es todo por hoy. Espero que ustedes hayan entendido las diferencias o más bien los usos de la palabra que en español. Muchas gracias por ver como siempre y hasta luego.